Damian, Kerry Eggers, Portland Tribune. Describe what the feeling was like when that ball went through the basket at the end of the game for you.
It was a great feeling. You know, when it left my hands, it felt good. I felt good about it, and the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game, I just kept telling myself, like, for us to get this game, we was gonna have to really, really dig, you know, to come out on top. So the fact that I kept telling myself that, and then we came out on top and the shot went in, I was like, man, it really happened. You know, we really dug and pulled it out. So it was a great feeling.
And back on the left.
Travis Demers, Rip City Radio. Dame, everybody in this building had flashbacks, deja vu to the winning shot against Houston with .9. How different or similar was that shot to the one tonight?
I mean, it was a little bit different. In that game, we were down by 2. There was less time. In that time, I actually broke the play. You know, not a lot of people know that I just broke the play. You know, all the guys out there were telling me to just run to the ball, and that's what I did. And tonight, this was kind of the way it was set up. You know, it was just set up different.
On the right side, against the wall.
Dame, Jason Quick, The Athletic. What impact do you think Yusuf's appearance had?
I mean, well, I would love to see what his plus-minus was tonight, because I think we was down 10 when he came out there with 3 minutes left or something like that. So I guess it was a huge impact. I think they put the camera on him, and the crowd like went crazy, and I heard it. So he gave us a nice punch.
Dame, Dwight James, NBC Sports Northwest. At what point, you got the ball in your hands that whole last possession, at what point did you decide, I'm going to shoot from out here, or you didn't want to drive, or whatever? How does that decision come about?
I didn't want to put it in the referee's hands, you know, where if there was contact and maybe they get away with contact, or I end up having to take a tougher shot because there is, you know, contact and they don't want to decide the game. So I was standing there looking at the rim, and I was like, this is a comfortable range. My trainer, Phil Beckner, we was working out the other night in OKC, and he was just like, just take a few deep ones, you know, off the dribble. Let's shoot a few deep ones. And he was like, I'm telling you, you're going to hit one of these. He just kept saying, you're going to hit one of these. And when I was standing there, I was like, I'm going to shoot it. You know, he was a little bit off of me, and I was like, it's enough space for me to just raise up and shoot it for game. And at the last second, he stepped towards me a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to pound, dribble, side step, and raise up, you know. And I just had to let it fly, you know, shoot the ball high in the air to give it a chance, and you know, that's what I did.
With how many minutes you played, Dave, is it hard to find the energy to shoot a ball from that far?
Not really. I think a lot of times those situations are handled way before the time comes. In the summer, I think when you truly prepare yourself and you put yourself through those types of things with training and conditioning and things like that, when you cheat yourself, you fail in those moments. You know, you crash. And when you really put the time in, and whether people see it or whether people know it or not, you know, it always come to light. And I didn't even know I was going to play that many minutes. You know, the first half, coach just didn't take me out. Then I played the whole third, and it was just on the fly. He just decided to do it randomly, and I was prepared for it because of the way I approached my stuff in the summer.
On the left, please, in the back.
Dame, Orlando Sanchez, KGW. Can you just describe the emotion, the celebration, the elation? I even saw a really neat moment with you and your brother among all the chaos that was happening there.
Yeah, I mean, my brother was sitting courtside, and you know, he don't say nothing. You know, my brother's like me. We just we keep our composure. We put the work in. You know, we really believe in what we do. We believe in ourselves, and that was it coming out. You know, it's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of talk and all this stuff, and that was the last word. That was having the last word.
On the right, third row.
Dame, Sean Hyken, Bleacher Report. You obviously played the whole first half. Was there any conversation at halftime about, like, you might have to play the whole 48 minutes, or if you know, when you might rest or when you might get taken out or any of that?
No, I mean, like I said, he didn't even tell me in the first half. He was just like, at the end of the first quarter, usually I come out, and he was like, when he said the lineup, he was like, all right, Dame, you staying in. And then I played the whole second, and at that point I was like, I guess I'm just going to play the whole game, because I know I played the whole third quarter. And then towards the end of the third, I was like, all right, we just let the lead slip. They got the lead now. So I just went into it like, okay, I'm going to play the whole game.
On the left here. On the
Casey Holdall, Trailblazers.com. Damian, you guys talked about after last game about just keeping it to yourselves, not talking to anybody else. It looked like after you hit that shot, you waved to the Oklahoma City bench. Could you just describe that moment and just kind of the emotion, what you were thinking at that point?
I mean, the series was over. That was it. And I was just waving goodbye to him. And I think after Game 3, Dennis Schroeder was out there pointing to his wrist. They was out there doing all these celebrations and doing all this stuff, and we kept our composure. And after one win, that was what they decided to do. And we was just like, okay, what we want to do is win 4 games. And then when we win those 4 games, it's not going to be nothing to talk about. So that's what that was.
third row.
Dame, Joe Freeman at the Oregonian. Would you say that's the best game you've ever played, your best performance?
I don't know. I played a lot of games. I think that's probably the best, just because it was a closeout game. You don't want to put yourself in position to have to go back to OKC. They believe in. They just stole one here, and now it's even more pressure on us in a Game 7 at home. We were down double figures under 5 minutes. Everything was looking like we was going back to OKC. So. Just to be able to come up big, not just me, but our team. To be able to come up big and to bite down and make all the plays defensively, come up with the rebounds. Steph had a huge defensive possession, coming up with a steal and a loose ball. Mo making free throws down the stretch. All of those things that we did to give ourselves a chance to win was huge. And my part in it, I think, was probably my most important performance.
Back on the left.
Can you describe the range of emotions in the last year from getting swept in the first round to Nurk's injury and CJ's injury and the last 15 games of the year to tonight, getting through the first round and knowing your season's still going?
I think my message has been the same from the moment that we got swept. I just kept saying, when you go through stuff like that, in our locker room, we got good people. We got a great environment every day. We do things the right way. We work hard. We do everything to give ourselves the best chance. And to go into the playoffs last year and have that type of experience, in my mind, I didn't feel bad for myself. I was like, I'm just going to accept responsibility that we didn't play well. It was embarrassing, but when you go through stuff like that and you stay together and you keep working, you keep believing in what we do, our purpose, what we come into training camp saying to each other, what our coaches are saying, the unity that we have. If we stay true to that and keep believing in what we've built up here, it's going to be something waiting for us. You don't go through stuff like that when you got a group of good guys that work hard and do things the right way. And in my mind, I was just like, man, something down the road is going to work out for us if we just stay with it and keep our minds right. And I think this is the beginning of that.
2 more questions. You're on the right.
Dame, Eric Anderson, USA Today. I think they were 4th in defensive rating, and a lot of times they put you in ISO situations, you and CJ. What does that do when you or CJ are scoring in a one-on-one situation to their defense after that?
I think it's just a handful, when it's one-on-one. I think our coaches did a great job coming in of even in pick and rolls, we were just trying to give ourselves as much space as possible. So on the weak side, we had 2 guys flat, spaced out, so we had room to work. And I think that ended up being great because tonight they came out switching. We had a lot more one-on-one plays than we probably had the entire series. But the fact that our spacing was that way, it left guys on the island. So we was able to get around them, and when we got around them, it was such a long distance for guys to go to help out. If it's a guy in the corner, and it's an ISO situation, we get around him, he's helping off the corner, and he's all the way in the paint. So there was times where their coverages and their rotations made the play for us. It was, Chief open in the corner, Mo cutting behind his man helping, and if not, we was getting to the rim or being able to draw fouls. So I think it worked out for us.
Last question up front center.
Damian, Jared Cowley, KGW. You got a big assist from Nurkic, but also from Enes Kanter. He played hurt, maybe a shoulder separation. How meaningful was it for him to play through that and give you the contributions he did?
It was huge. He had a lot of great defensive plays at the rim with verticality. Guys coming downhill at him. and he was impacting the ball. Guys going up, he's changing shots, coming up with extra possessions, tipping balls, finishing in the paint. He just did a lot of things, and just, you know, even after he got fouled and hurt his shoulder, he came down and hit free throws. And it was just a grinded out game. You know, I think from top to bottom, everybody that touched the floor tonight showed their toughness. And, you know, he was one of the main guys that did. Yep.